In this video, guys, we're going to talk about budgets, and we're going to use our circle graphs that you learned about earlier. So, family budget is a plan of spending money. So each family has a budget. Each family takes time to set up the budget and determine where the money must go and where they can spend money. We're going to talk about these two differences. Your personal budget, when they say personal, what is that different? How is that different from a family? So this is where it could be really based on the individual spending. You know, if a person is single, does not have a family. So we would literally just say it's individual plan of spending money. So it could be something that you have, you know, birthday money, chores, how you are planning on spending. You are contributing maybe some to church, maybe you are doing Christmas angel tree and you putting that aside. You might be saving for a big ticket item. You might want to get a PlayStation 5, whatever. That's your personal budget, and that's how you specifically would spend money. On the family level, guys, if we look at our budget circle graph, you can see there's a lot of items that are involved, okay? We're also going to talk about hourly wage. Hourly wage, guys, is income. So income is what people are earning, okay? So it is money person earns per hour, just like it says, hourly wage. Some people do not earn money per hour. They have money per month. Okay, we're going to talk about this as well. So it's really important, guys. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this next statement. It says, knowing both income and expenses is necessary to build a plan for spending. This is really, really important, guys. Your plan for spending kind of tells you what you can afford to do, afford to buy. Can you set the goals of spending? If you want to have a vacation, do you have money to do that? If you have medical bills, do you have money to do that? And so on. Let's take a closer look, guys, to that into this circle graph. So there are, as I mentioned, several categories. This particular graph does not tell you percent. So we're going to see some of these pie charts that will have percent values and do not have percent values. But keep in mind, we still have the values of 100%. That's still a must. And so then each of these categories are broken up by, you know, where the money is going. So we all have to pay taxes. So taxes and housing seem to be huge part of Shelton's family's budget. Lots of money going there. So of course we have food, transportation. When we talk about transportation, guys, it has to do with car and most likely insurance. So don't feel like it's, you know, it's not a taxi or airplane. They're not going on vacation all the time, but transportation kind of entails that expense. So car payment, insurance, gasoline, so anything to assure that they can get to work. All right. So these categories are expenses. So expenses are, so income is how much you're earning. Expenses are telling you where your money is going. We have two categories of expenses, fixed and variable. So fixed expenses are housing, taxes, transportation, okay? So when we say fixed, guys, every month it is about the same amount. Housing, you know, house payment cannot change from month to month, okay? The other items that you guys are seeing here, like for example, food and miscellaneous and savings, they can be changed. So those are called variable expenses. As you can tell, variable, they vary, or they could vary from month to month. They can be adjusted. So miscellaneous, like, wow, that's a huge chunk. What is happening there? Where's the money going? Okay, so your miscellaneous, Shelton family might want to take a look at that. Food, you can adjust it. So for example, if you guys are on vacation, nobody wants to cook on vacation. People go out on vacation, okay? When you're at home, a lot of time you would be cooking. Savings, you can adjust the savings. Because what if 1 month you have a medical bill? So this money should go towards your medical bill instead of savings. So things, expenses that can be adjusted, they're called variable. The ones that cannot be adjusted and always the same, they're going to be called fixed. That means staying the same as much as possible. All right, so let's take a look at this family and see about actual percents. So components of Shelton's family are shown. We are asked to calculate the percent of total budget for housing, round to the nearest percent. So guys, we had this experience and type of questions before with circle graph. Before you can determine the percent of one of these sections, the housing, you need to know the total amount that they are earning, okay? Or spending, that is, okay? So first of all, step number 1, guys, you need to find total expenses. So we literally have to add these amounts, and all I'm doing is just listing them. One too many. 420 plus 900 plus taxes. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So the total comes up to be $5,860. This is how much Shelton family is spending each month. And only then, guys, only then you can set up your, or find your answer to that particular question. Percent of total budget for housing. So that's what we're working with, housing right here. And so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to use percent proportion in this situation. So housing is only part of the budget, $1,560. The total budget is $5,860. And so that's going to be my X percent, because that's what we asked to find, out of 100. So, of course, if you guys can reduce, we'll always try to. This is definitely not an extremely obvious situation. And so the finding of the cross product would be the way to go. And for the sake of the time, I am providing the answer, and X is going to be equaling 26.6, which then we asked to find the nearest percent, which would be about 27%. It's pretty high quantity of percent that's spent on housing, so it's a huge chunk. It is recommended not to spend more than 30% on your housing, so they're almost there, but it's, as you can see, it's quite a chunk to pay for their house every month. All right, our second example, as we continue talking about Shelton's family, we're going to talk about, guys, the hourly wage. So question 2 says, determine the minimum household budget for Shelton's family and the hourly wage for the one working parent to meet the budget. Assume parent works 160 hours in 1 month, around 10 years percent. All right, guys, let's talk about this minimum budget. It has to do with only necessities. So as you heard me mention earlier, I was talking about $900 in miscellaneous. They really don't even know where this money is specifically going. So that's definitely something that can be eliminated. So minimum budget, of course, it has to be the housing, the taxes, cannot get away without them. Transportation, and food is going to be, guys, counted as your minimum, the necessity itself, $530. Okay, so savings and miscellaneous are not going to be with part of our minimum budget. As we add them up, we're going to come up with $3,850. So when they're asking us for average hourly wage, what they're saying is this is how much must make. This is their budget. I just realized I totally misspelled this word, budget. And so this is what they must bring. We know that one of the parents is going to work 160 hours. If you're wondering, whoa, where's this time? Where's this 160 hours coming from? The traditional working week is 40 hours, and 4 weeks times 40 will be giving us 160 hours. So that's what we're doing. Total quantity of money that needs to be brought home divided by 160 hours will give us $24.06 per hour. So this is how much Mr. Shelton or Mrs. Shelton should be bringing home in order to provide for their family and fit in with it into their budget. So this is really, again, really important. If they are making $20, they are not going to have enough to pay for their minimum budget. If they're making more, that's great. That means they're going to have opportunity for savings and variety of miscellaneous items. But 24 is the minimum wage that they can be earning in order to take care of that minimum budget that is fitting for their family.